Okay, let's forget the daily price charts and all the market noise for just a minute, because the biggest challenge facing Bitcoin right now, it isn't about price. It's a massive technological showdown between the cryptography we use today and the computers of tomorrow. We're diving deep into Bitcoin's quantum challenge.
Now, this might sound dramatic, but this question is at the heart of a very real, very intense debate happening on Wall Street as we speak. You've got some serious players who see a looming quantum death sentence for Bitcoin, while others are convinced the solution is already hiding in plain sight.
So, to really get to the bottom of this, we first have to understand the tech. We've got to break it down. What exactly is this quantum threat? And more importantly, where is Bitcoin's weak spot? Well, the whole thing really boils down to this: quantum computing. And it all comes down to something called a qubit. Now, the computer you're using right now uses bits. They're either a 0 or a 1. Simple, on or off. But qubits, they can be a 0, a 1, or kind of both at the same time. And that little trick lets them tackle certain kinds of problems at speeds that are just completely unimaginable for the computers we have today.
Yeah, and this slide just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got classical computing. It's a straight line, a world of black and white, zeros and ones. But on the right, you have the quantum world. It operates in this fuzzy space of probabilities in multiple states all at once, and it's that fundamental difference that gives these machines their incredible, world-changing potential.
Okay, so what in the world does this have to do with Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin's security, the very thing that keeps it safe, relies on something called ECDSA. The easiest way to think about it is as a digital lock and key. It's the mathematical magic that protects every single transaction and guarantees that only you can spend your funds. And for any normal computer, this lock is basically unbreakable. But, and this is the big but, quantum computers have special tools, or maybe we should call them weapons, that could change everything. The number one threat is called Shor's algorithm. It's a quantum recipe that just so happens to be perfectly designed to solve the exact type of math problem that makes Bitcoin's digital lock so strong. Then you also got Grover's algorithm, which can make guessing passwords or brute force attacks way faster.
So let's just walk through what an attack could actually look like. Imagine you go to send some Bitcoin. The second you hit send, your public key is broadcast to the network. A powerful enough quantum computer could be listening, grab that key, use Shor's algorithm to figure out your private key in seconds, and then, poof, they could steal your funds before your original transaction even has a chance to be confirmed.
And look, I know this sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's not. As quantum security researchers like Dr. Evelyn Reed are saying, for the experts in this field, it's not a question of if this happens, but when. And the really crucial part is that the time to plan for this isn't in 10 years, it's right now.
So, as you can probably guess, a potential threat this huge has created a major divide, especially in the financial world. On Wall Street, you've got a clash of two totally different philosophies on how Bitcoin should deal with this.
In one corner, you have what you might call the maximalist view. These are the folks who say, hey, Bitcoin is resilient, it's always adapted, and it'll adapt to this too. But in the other corner, you have the pragmatic view. They're looking at this and saying, whoa, this threat is different, it's unprecedented, and we need to take urgent action, maybe even look at other options.
And this quote really sums up that first camp's argument perfectly. For them, Bitcoin's true power isn't the code that's running today. It's the worldwide community of brilliant developers who are all highly incentivized, we're talking financially incentivized, to protect and upgrade the network. They've tackled huge problems before, and they're betting they'll solve this one too. But the other side brings up this really serious idea of asymmetric risk. What they mean is, the downside here is catastrophic. A single breakthrough in quantum computing could make all of Bitcoin's security worthless overnight. From their point of view, just sitting back and hoping the community acts in time is just way too risky.
So, you've got this huge problem, this raging debate. Where does the solution come from? Well, this is where the story gets really fascinating, because the fix might already exist, hidden inside the world of cryptography itself.
I want you to meet post-quantum cryptography, or PQC. And get this isn't some new, panicked reaction to the threat. Cryptographers are smart. They saw this coming years ago. PQC is a whole new family of algorithms, built from the ground up to be secure against attacks from both the computers we have now and the quantum computers of the future.
And we're not just talking about one single idea here. Researchers are looking at a whole bunch of different ways to build these quantum-safe locks. You've got lattice-based stuff, code-based, hash-based. You don't need to be an expert. The key takeaway is that there are many different paths to a solution, and a lot of smart people are exploring all of them.
So, the million-dollar question, how do you actually get this new tech into Bitcoin? Well, it wouldn't be a flip of a switch. It would be a slow, careful, step-by-step process. First comes tons of research and testing. Then, the new code would be introduced through optional upgrades called soft forks. From there, everyone would need to migrate their funds to new quantum-proof addresses. And the most important step of all, the entire community has to reach a consensus to make it happen. And this is the core of the optimistic argument. Experts say that Bitcoin is built to be modular, kind of like Legos. You can carefully swap out an old piece, like the old cryptography, and plug in a new, better one without the whole thing falling apart. Sure, it's going to be incredibly complex, but it's seen as entirely possible with a well-planned transition.
Now, it is so easy to get laser-focused and think this is just a Bitcoin problem. But the truth is, the implications of getting quantum-ready are absolutely massive for our entire digital economy. This is about future-proofing, well, everything. I mean, just stop and think about it. Securing our global supply chains, protecting digital assets, the way we prove our identities online, the whole infrastructure for Web3, for DeFi, for smart contracts, all of it relies on the same kind of digital lock that Bitcoin uses. So making sure these systems can withstand a quantum attack isn't just a crypto problem, it's an everyone problem.
So, in the end, we're right back where we started, watching a high-stakes race. On one side, you have the relentless, accelerating march of quantum computers. On the other, a global community of developers racing to upgrade our digital defenses. We know the solution is in the code. The only question left is, will the upgrade win the race?